I accidentally got sober and somehow landed 2 book deals. Crazy, right? I say accidental because I wasn't even planning to stop drinking forever. I was just going for a quick break, a reset. But now here we are 2 years and 8 months later and my life has improved so much. Hi, I'm Derek, also known as Mocktail Wiz. I'm a mixologist based in Southern California and I'm the author of the book, The Mocktail Club and Make It a Mocktail Recipe Deck. In this video, I'll share with you how I went from sober curious to sober serious. I'll share with you the book that helped me quit drinking, how I got into mixing mocktails, how I started my Instagram page Mocktail Wiz, and how I landed my first book deal, and then the second book deal. But I can't tell you about my sobriety without telling you what led me to questioning my relationship with alcohol first. Long story short, it was grief. My drinking took a turn after I lost my mom in June of 2020. I grew up very close to my mother, so losing her turned my world upside down. I've learned that as human beings, we use tools that are available to us to deal with things. At the time, I used alcohol to deal with grief. Now I know that there are better tools out there like therapy, meditation, exercising, but I give myself grace when I look back at those times. I was just trying to get by and I didn't know any better. I used alcohol to escape. I used it to numb the pain. And that's when drink moderation got really hard. I tried so many times to put guardrails around my drinking. Boundaries, like drinking only on the weekends, only consuming 3 drinks per drinking day. You know how this goes. Next thing you know, it's 4 days a week. And each drink became heavier and heavier pours. Especially when the death anniversary approaches, I somehow was able to convince myself that drinking every day was fine, it was not a problem. I was thinking of alcohol all the time. When I wasn't drinking, I was thinking of drinking. Until June 6, 2022, 2 days after my mom's death anniversary, when I decided to pull myself together. I wasn't feeling good about myself anymore. I didn't like my physical appearance, I was gaining weight. I didn't like how I felt. So I decided to take a break from alcohol. I didn't plan on being sober for forever. I was just wanting a reset. I did hear about this thing called sober curiosity and I was curious. And then I found this book called This Naked Mind by Annie Grace and I started listening to it and I hated it in the beginning because this woman tells me all these truths about alcohol and how it's bad for you and I did not want to hear it. But I kept listening because I actually identified with her story. I was high functioning. I was doing great at my job. I have a loving relationship. I didn't have any wreckage, but I couldn't figure out this alcohol thing. I thought something was wrong with me. Turns out there was nothing wrong with me. The problem was alcohol. Alcohol is an addictive substance, so it's just natural for people to get addicted to it. That was freeing. There was nothing wrong with me. After I finished reading This Naked Mind, I knew that I didn't want to consume alcohol anymore, but I still wanted something to surf the urge, and this is when I started mixing mocktails. I do have a background in mixology. I took a class in London years ago, and I've always admired the craft of mixing cocktails. I meal prep on the weekends. And when I cook, I always have something to drink. That weekend, I made my very first mocktail, a spicy pineapple margarita using ingredients that I had on hand. I muddled some jalapeno with agave syrup. I added some pineapple juice. I used lime packets because I didn't have fresh limes at the time. Some ice and shook it all together. And then I poured it over ice to a glass that I rimmed with tahini. Added a splash of soda water and took a sip and I really liked it. The burn from the jalapeno mimics the burn that you get from alcohol. At that point, I knew that I was gonna be okay. My alcohol break became 2 weeks long, and then it became a month, and then it became 90 days, and so on and so forth. The longer the break was, the easier the not drinking part became. My brain was in overdrive. I had a lot of mocktail recipe ideas, to the point that I couldn't sleep. I started making mocktails regularly, testing out flavor combinations. I needed an outlet. Now that I don't numb out in the evenings and weekends anymore, I had so much time on my hands. I started posting videos of me mixing drinks on my personal Instagram. It got attention. The more I posted, the more attention it got. So I decided to make a separate account, Mocktail Wiz. I chose this name because I was a math whiz in high school and a computer whiz in college, so I thought, hey, I could be Mocktail Wiz too. I had so many recipes that I was posting almost every day. As I kept doing it, I regained my love for photography and videography. Some of my old hobbies came back. I was having so much fun. And then I started meeting people from the sober curious community, and they're some of the best people on the internet. And then, on February 17th, 2023, I received an email. I didn't even know who Simon Schuster was. I'm from the Philippines and I didn't know that Simon & Schuster is among the top publishers in the world. I thought, is this a scam? I don't even have 1,500 followers. I'm a nobody. But it was legit. They found my Instagram and liked my approach to mocktails. After some meetings, an audition process, and a lot of nervousness from my end, I signed my first ever book deal with Adams Media, a Simon & Schuster imprint. It was a tight timeline. I had to make at least 75 recipes in about 2 months. All this while working full-time as a Salesforce architect. It was all a blur, but I had so much fun and I was so driven and was just so grateful for the opportunity. I submitted the full manuscript at the end of May 2023, and then we went through rounds of reviews and revisions. I had a great experience working with the Adams Media team. It was exciting to see the development of the creation of the book. I especially loved seeing the photos of the mocktails in the book and corresponding with the photographers with colors, glasses, garnishes, and everything. My publication date was set to January 2nd of 2024, so it was a long wait until I see the final book, The Mocktail Club. While I was waiting for my publication date, around September, I got another email. I remember we were in San Diego Safari Park vacationing, overlooking the giraffes, and I was enjoying a virgin spicy pineapple margarita from the restaurant there when I got the email saying that we were getting great feedback on the Mocktail Club before it was even released, and that the publisher was interested in making a recipe deck called Make It a Mocktail. Of course I said yes. And then we went through a similar process of making recipes, submitting the full manuscript, going through revisions, and the publication date for Make It a Mocktail was set to July 23rd, 2024. Fast forward to today and now I have 2 published works. Both are doing very well, especially the Mocktail Club that's consistently on the top 100 bestsellers, cocktails, and mixed drinks books on Amazon. And that's saying something because it's a mocktail book amongst cocktail books. Now why am I telling you all this? If there's one thing that I'd like you to take away from this video, it's that it's okay to question your relationship with alcohol. You don't have to have a rock bottom before you take an honest look at your drinking. If you're thinking that you're maybe drinking too much, that's enough reason to take a look at it. Take a break. Take a dry month, or even just a dry weekend or dry evening. You'll never regret not drinking for a night. When I stopped drinking, my life became better. Of course, it was hard in the beginning, but I promise you it gets easier. And if you need mocktail recipes to surf the urge, I got you. And plus, you'll never know what will happen next. Who knows, you might get a book deal too. Thank you so much for watching. If you like videos like this, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And let me know in the comments below if you've ever tried a dry month. No wrong answers. See you in the next video. Mocktail cheers!